Ladies and gentlemen, friends and seekers of growth, hear me now. The year 2026 is not a calendar. It is your battlefield, your canvas, your sacred hour to rise above distractions, doubts, and the noise of the world. In this year, more than ever, it is your solemn duty to focus on yourself, to guard your energy, to nourish your dreams, to honor the soul within you. Listen closely, for these words are not mere advice. They are a call to action. When you focus on yourself, when you choose your growth over gossip, your peace over drama, your vision over validation, you are stepping into the highest version of yourself. And in this truth lies your freedom. The world is loud, it is endless. Every day there is someone telling you who you should be, how you should act, what you should want, and what you must fear. Your phone buzzes with messages you don't need. Your social media scroll mocks you with comparisons, and even the people closest to you sometimes speak words that pierce through your calm. But here is the truth. The only voice that matters is the one that comes from inside of you. The noise outside, the criticism, the judgment, the constant advice from strangers, colleagues, friends, even family, these are not your truth. They are not your path. And yet most people let these voices dictate their lives. Most people wake up every morning and check the notifications, the emails, the endless chatter of the world, and they surrender their peace to it. But not you. Not anymore. Imagine a child learning to walk for the first time. The room is full of chatter. Someone says, "Be careful, you'll fall." Someone else laughs, "You can't do it yet." And yet, the child focuses on one thing, the next step. The world may scream, but the child is undistracted. That is what it means to silence the noise. That is the lesson you must carry into your adulthood. Your life is your steps, your journey, your growth. The voices that pull you away from that path are not meant for your ears. They are the background static of a world that does not know your purpose. Think about the office where everyone has an opinion about how you should handle a project. They talk over each other, they critique without understanding, and they project their fears onto you. If you listen to them all, you will never finish anything. You will drown in the sea of external noise. But when you choose to silence it, when you close the door to the distractions and listen to your own mind, your own instincts, your own heart, you move with precision, you move with clarity. And the results? They are not just success, they are proof that your focus is unstoppable. Or consider the friend circle where gossip flows like water in a river. Someone praises you, someone envies you, someone questions your choices. Each word is a tiny stone tossed into your path, meant to unbalance you. But if you remain silent, not reacting, not defending, not explaining, you do not just survive, you thrive. You become a force so calm, so collected, so unattached to the opinions of others that people notice not because of your words, but because of your energy. Your silence speaks louder than any argument, any explanation, any attempt to justify yourself. Even in the home, the noise is relentless. Family members with their worries, their unsolicited advice, their projections of fear and doubt. They think they are helping, but often they drown your inner voice. You hear, "You should do this, it's safer," or "You need to behave like this for everyone else," and the echoes stick to your mind like vines. To silence the noise, you must learn the sacred art of listening to your own soul first. The quiet voice that says, "I know my path, I know my pace, I know my worth." That voice is your compass, and it is wiser than 1,000 external judgments. Even in the simplest moments, the commute, the grocery store, the park, the world throws distractions at you. People talking, horns blaring, announcements screaming. Each sound tries to fragment your attention, to pull your mind outward when it belongs inward. To silence the noise, you do not need to escape the world. You need to anchor yourself. Anchor yourself in the rhythm of your own breathing, the clarity of your own thoughts, the truth of your own feelings. You will find that the world is not as loud as it seems. It only seems loud until you decide not to listen to it. Think about artists, writers, athletes, anyone who has mastered their craft. They are surrounded by opinions, by critics, by those who doubt them, but they silence the noise. They do not engage with every naysayer. They do not respond to every comment. They listen to the inner voice, the one that knows how to create, to move, to perform. And in that silence, greatness is born. You too must learn that every distraction avoided, every voice ignored, every comparison dismissed adds fuel to your focus. It is the space in which your talent, your vision, your purpose grows without obstruction. Even in relationships, the noise can be deafening. Friends, partners, family, each person brings their fears, their insecurities, their stories of the past into your life. They try to mold you into who they think you should be. But when you silence the noise, when you honor your own boundaries, when you trust your intuition, you do not lose love, you elevate it. You attract people who resonate with the frequency of your truth rather than those who drown you in static. And remember the small victories. The morning when you resist scrolling social media, the evening when you refuse to argue unnecessarily, the moment when you stop caring about everyone's opinion and simply follow your plan. Each time you silence the noise, you reclaim a fragment of your life. Each time you grow stronger. Each time you are closer to the extraordinary version of yourself waiting to emerge. Silencing the noise is not just a strategy, it is a revolution. It is a declaration that your life will not be dictated by anyone but you. The world can shout, it can rage, it can try to pull you off course, but your focus, your calm, your peace is sacred. And every day, every hour, every breath you spend protecting that focus is a triumph. Your time, your energy, your heart, your peace, they are treasures. And like all treasures, they must be guarded. Too many people wander through life giving away pieces of themselves to anyone who asks, anyone who demands, anyone who shows up with a complaint, a criticism, or a desire. They leave their doors open to negativity, drama, and distraction, and they wonder why they feel exhausted, unfulfilled, or lost. But you are not like that. You must set boundaries, and not just any boundaries, but boundaries like walls of gold, walls that are strong, impenetrable, and luminous, boundaries that shine with self-respect and announce to the world, my energy is sacred, my life is precious, and I will not let anyone trespass without honor. Consider your workplace, where colleagues constantly dump their frustrations on you. They complain, they gossip, they project their fears, and they expect you to absorb it all. Most people do. They smile, they nod, they carry the weight of others as if it is theirs to bear. But when you set boundaries, you do not absorb what is not yours. You listen with compassion, yes, but you do not allow their emotional baggage to become yours. You respond with clarity, with firmness, and with kindness, and in doing so, you preserve your energy. You build a golden wall around your peace, and nothing that does not serve you is allowed in. Think about family gatherings, where relatives question your choices, your career, your relationships. They ask why you do not live the way they want, why you do not behave according to their expectations. Many crumble under this pressure, apologizing for living their own life. But when you set boundaries, you answer once and with dignity, or sometimes you do not answer at all. You protect your life from the intrusion of opinion that has no authority over your soul. Every no you speak is a brick in the golden wall of your self-respect. Every boundary you maintain is a declaration, I honor myself first, and I will not compromise my peace for the discomfort of others. Even in friendships, boundaries are necessary. Friends may ask for favors endlessly, borrow your time, or drain your energy with constant negativity. You do not abandon compassion, but you do not surrender your well-being either. You define what is acceptable and what is not. You let them know that your kindness has limits, that your support is abundant but not infinite, and that your life cannot revolve around rescuing everyone who cannot help themselves. Those who value you will respect the walls of gold you build. Those who do not will fade. And that is the beauty of boundaries. They attract the right people and repel the wrong ones. In romantic relationships, boundaries are sacred. Too often people compromise their values, their goals, and their self-worth in the name of love. They tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or inconsistency, believing that love demands sacrifice. But true love does not ask you to dismantle your walls. It does not require you to abandon your self-respect. Setting boundaries in love is not a barrier. It is the very framework that allows love to flourish. You communicate clearly what you will accept, and what you will not. You honor your needs, and you demand the respect you deserve. Love that cannot honor your walls is not love. It is distraction. Even in your own mind, boundaries are essential. Thoughts that criticize, doubt, or belittle you must be confronted. Do not let self-doubt run unchecked, whispering lies that erode your confidence. Set a boundary between your mind and the voices of fear. Affirm your worth. Protect your inner space. Guard it like gold, because what you feed grows. If you feed doubt, it will grow. If you feed courage and clarity, it will grow. Your walls are not just against others, they are also shields against your own inner saboteur. Daily life is full of tiny moments to practice these boundaries. When a coworker tries to steal your credit, you claim it calmly and firmly. When a family member pressures you into decisions, you hold your ground. When social media floods you with negativity, you close the apps, you mute the noise, you retreat into your sanctuary. When a friend drains your energy with endless complaints, you listen once and then you step away. Each act, small or large, is a brick, a shimmering brick in the walls of gold that protect your spirit. Even in moments of kindness, boundaries matter. Being generous does not mean being depleted. You can help, you can serve, you can give, but not at the expense of your own health, your peace, your growth. Those who understand this, who respect it, will thrive alongside you. Those who cannot will fall away, leaving your space untainted, your energy unbroken, and your vision clear. The walls you build are not prisons. They are fortresses. They do not isolate. They elevate. They create a space where your creativity, your ambition, and your joy can flourish without interference. People will push, test, and sometimes try to breach them, but remember, a wall of gold is resilient. It shines. In sunlight and in storms, it stands tall against criticism and chaos. It signals not weakness but strength, not fear but clarity. Boundaries, my friends, are the most powerful expression of self-love. They say to the world, to yourself, to every distraction, I am worth the effort to respect. I am worth the energy to protect. I am worth the space I create. And every moment you uphold these boundaries, every time you reinforce your walls of gold, you invest in your future, in your peace, and in the life you are destined to lead. Your life is the most valuable asset you will ever own, and the only way to honor it is to invest in yourself relentlessly. Growth is not a passive pursuit. It is an active, conscious, and sometimes uncomfortable choice. It demands your time, your attention, your courage, and your unwavering commitment. Every day you wake up is an opportunity to become a better version of yourself. And yet too many people squander this gift, waiting for chance, for luck, for someone else to hand them success. But you are not here to wait. You are here to act, to cultivate, to sharpen your mind, your skills, your heart, and your spirit. Consider the student who rises before dawn to study while the world sleeps. They do not wait for inspiration to strike. They create the conditions for mastery. Each page read, each problem solved, each hour dedicated compounds into knowledge that becomes power. And when others mock them for working too hard or sacrificing fun, they continue anyway, knowing that the investment they make in themselves will pay dividends that no temporary distraction can touch. Your growth, too, requires this discipline, this hunger, this relentless pursuit of improvement, because nothing worth having comes easily. Think about an athlete who trains when their muscles ache, when the weather is harsh, when the applause is absent. They know at greatness is forged in repetition, in discomfort, in commitment to small, consistent acts. They lift, they run, they push past pain and fatigue, not for recognition, not for instant reward, but because they understand that every effort builds the strength, the endurance, and the skill that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Your mind and spirit must be treated the same way. Read, learn, meditate, practice, reflect, push, relentlessly. Your growth is your victory, and every step toward it is sacred. Even in the workplace, investing in growth demands courage. It is easy to stay in a position of comfort, to perform tasks as expected, to settle for mediocre results. But the person who seeks to learn, who asks questions, who takes on challenges outside their comfort zone, is the one who rises. They take courses, read books, seek mentors, and experiment boldly. Growth is not accidental, it is intentional. Every hour spent learning a new skill, mastering a new tool, or refining your craft is an investment in a future where your potential is limitless. Consider the parent who, despite exhaustion, educates themselves about parenting, emotional intelligence, and their own personal development. They do not simply rely on instinct. They invest in knowledge, in techniques, in understanding human psychology and their own emotional triggers. Each lesson learned is a gift to their children, a legacy of growth and wisdom that no one can take away. Growth is not only personal, it ripples outward, transforming everyone who crosses your life. Even in relationships, investing in your growth means becoming a better communicator, a better listener, a better partner. It means confronting your own flaws, healing your past wounds, and refusing to remain stagnant. When you grow, you elevate the people around you, not by changing them, but by becoming someone who inspires them to grow. Growth is contagious, and those who are unwilling to invest in themselves will struggle to keep up, while those who do will rise in ways they never imagined. In small daily habits, relentless growth manifests. Waking up early to journal, reading even 10 pages a day, dedicating time to a creative pursuit, learning a language, practicing an instrument, exercising your body, meditating your mind, reflecting on your choices. These are all acts of investment. They seem minor, invisible, even insignificant at the moment, but over weeks, months, and years, they accumulate into transformation. You become a person who does not react to life passively but shapes it actively, deliberately, with intention. Look at entrepreneurs who dedicate their weekends, nights, and spare hours to study markets, learn new strategies, or improve their products. They fail, they iterate, they rise again. Growth is messy, uncomfortable, and demanding, but it is always rewarding. Your time, your energy, and your focus are currencies. Spend them wisely on yourself and watch your life compound in value beyond anything you ever imagined. Even in emotional and spiritual growth, relentless investment is necessary. It is easy to let resentment, fear, and regret dominate your life. But those who read, reflect, meditate, and engage with their inner selves do not merely survive, they thrive. They learn patience, they cultivate empathy, they strengthen resilience. Every moment spent understanding your mind and your soul is an act of investment that ensures your growth cannot be stolen, diminished, or delayed by circumstances beyond your control. Finally, in the pursuit of growth, consistency is your ally. It is not about occasional bursts of effort, but steady, relentless, unwavering investment. The small daily choices, the books read, the habits formed, the discomfort endured, create a compounding effect. Like a river carving a canyon, your persistent effort reshapes your life, your opportunities, your possibilities. The world may not notice your daily dedication, but your future self will stand in awe of the person you are becoming. Loneliness is often painted as something to fear, something to avoid, something to fill with noise and distraction. Yet those who have learned to embrace it understand that it is one of the greatest gifts life can offer. Loneliness is not emptiness, it is space. A space to hear yourself, to discover who you truly are beneath the expectations, opinions, and distractions of the world. When you are alone, stripped of constant conversation and external stimulation, you meet the one person you have neglected most, yourself. And in this encounter, the seeds of growth, clarity, and strength are planted. Consider the artist who spends hours in a silent studio, paintbrush in hand, canvas before them. No one is there to applaud, to judge, or to guide. In the stillness, ideas flow, colors speak, and the artist finds a voice unique to them. That silence, that solitude is not punishment, it is the womb of creation. In your life, loneliness serves the same purpose. The world is loud, but in your solitude, you hear your own heartbeat, your own dreams, your own calling. It is in this silence that you cultivate originality, insight, and vision that no crowd, no noise, no companion can provide. Even in your daily routine, there are moments to embrace loneliness. The early morning when the house is quiet and the world has yet to awaken, this is a time for reflection, for planning, for meditation. The commute when you are alone with your thoughts offers an opportunity to analyze your actions, your choices, your relationships. While others fill these moments with podcasts, music, or scrolling feeds, you can practice being fully present with yourself, understanding your own mind, and listening to the inner voice that guides your destiny. In friendships, embracing loneliness can be transformative. It is common to rely on others for constant validation, for entertainment, for a sense of belonging. Yet those who are comfortable alone do not seek validation, they create it internally. They understand that their worth does not depend on the presence or absence of others. They learn to enjoy their own company, to entertain themselves with thought, with creativity, with reading, with journaling. This self-sufficiency is magnetic. It draws people toward them not out of need but out of respect and admiration. Even in romantic relationships, the gift of loneliness is profound. Many fear being alone and rush into attachments to fill the void. But those who have learned to sit with themselves, to enjoy their own presence, attract relationships that are healthier, stronger, and more aligned with their true selves. They enter love not from a place of dependence but from abundance. They have already cultivated happiness within themselves. And any partnership becomes a sharing, not a saving. Consider the professional who chooses to work late into the night, long after the office has emptied, with no audience to witness their effort. The quiet, the stillness, the absence of distraction allows them to focus, to think deeply, to solve problems creatively. Loneliness here is not punishment, it is productivity, clarity, and insight. Every moment spent alone can become a laboratory for your mind, a gym for your intellect, and a sanctuary for your vision. Even in times of emotional pain, embracing loneliness teaches resilience. When a friendship ends, a relationship dissolves, or circumstances isolate you, it is natural to feel sorrow. Yet in the solitude of these moments, you find yourself stronger than you imagined. You learn to sit with your emotions without distraction, to process them, to understand their source, and to release what no longer serves you. Loneliness becomes a teacher, showing you that your capacity to endure, to reflect, and to rise is infinite. Daily life offers countless small ways to practice embracing loneliness. A quiet cup of coffee in the morning, reading a book in the park, taking a solo walk in nature. These are not trivial acts. They are invitations to meet yourself, to hear your own voice, to nurture your inner world. Every time you choose your own company over distraction, you are investing in self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and inner peace. You are training your mind to find comfort in itself rather than in constant external input. Even socially, the ability to embrace loneliness strengthens your choices. You no longer chase approval, attend events for obligation, or sacrifice your values to fit in. You become selective, intentional, and grounded. You understand that being alone is not a void but a canvas. You can paint it with your dreams, your growth, your thoughts, your creativity. Loneliness gives you the clarity to distinguish between what is necessary and what is trivial, between what elevates you and what diminishes you. The greatest people in history, the ones whose work and wisdom endure, often spend significant time in solitude. They were not afraid to sit alone with their thoughts, to wrestle with ideas, to confront their inner selves without distraction. And in that space, they discovered brilliance, courage, and insight that would have been impossible in constant company. Loneliness, when embraced, is not absence. It is presence. Presence with yourself, presence with your mind, presence with your purpose, presence with your soul. Approval is a currency that the world will endlessly demand but rarely deserves. From the moment we are born, we are conditioned to seek it, first from our parents, then teachers, friends, colleagues, partners, and society at large. We are taught to smile when complimented, to adjust when criticized, to conform when questioned. Yet, in this pursuit, we often lose ourselves. We measure our worth by someone else's opinion and let their perception dictate our joy, our choices, and even our dreams. The truth is that no one has the authority to define your value, and the moment you detach from the need for approval, you step into an unshakable power that no criticism or praise can touch. Consider the student who chooses a unique career path, one that deviates from family expectations or social norms. Friends whisper doubts, relatives express concern, and teachers warn of risks. The student may feel the pull of approval, the desire to avoid conflict or judgment. Yet, when they detach from approval, they follow the path that resonates with their heart. Each step taken becomes an act of courage, and the world eventually acknowledges their brilliance, not because they sought validation, but because they honored their truth. Approval is fleeting, but authenticity is eternal. In the workplace, detaching from approval transforms not only how you work, but how you live. Many employees bend over backward to please supervisors, colleagues, or clients, sacrificing creativity, efficiency, or integrity. They speak in ways they think will be admired, act in ways they hope will be approved, and hide ideas they fear will be rejected. But the person who detaches from approval works from principle and vision. They express their ideas boldly, make decisions aligned with purpose, and perform without the weight of needing recognition. In doing so, they gain respect, influence, and results far greater than those who chase applause. Even in friendships, the need for approval can be suffocating. Many stay silent, when they disagree, nod along when they feel differently, or overextend themselves to be liked. True freedom comes when you no longer seek consent for your choices, your opinions, or your presence. You learn to say what you feel, to act in accordance with your values, and to honor your boundaries without fear of judgment. Those who truly belong in your life will remain, not because they approve, but because they respect and resonate with your authentic self. In romantic relationships, approval seeking is perhaps the most dangerous trap. One partner may constantly adjust to please the other, compromise excessively, or suppress their voice, thinking love requires conformity. Yet, detachment